Identifying the biggest need for every contender ahead of the MLB trade deadline. The MLB trade deadline will come and go on Wednesday at 4:00 p.m. ET, so Atlanta could use not only a front-line starter, but a closer at the back end of their bullpen. It's unclear. The Chicago Cubs were hoping their bullpen problems would be fixed when they in early June, but he hasn't been as dominant as we are used to seeing. In 12 appearances, the Cardinals need a lefty reliever to complement Andrew Miller. The offense has begun. The Los Angeles Dodgers are the closest thing baseball has to offer to being a complete team, but to make sure they win their first World Series in over 30 years, they need to buff up the back end of the bullpen. Kenley Jansen, they may not admit it publicly, but bringing aboard veteran Fernando Rodney didn't fix the Washington Nationals bullpen. Both Philadelphia's rotation and bullpen are mediocre at best. Injuries have from day one. The question surrounding this Brewers team is their starting pitching. Well, it's all season long, the New York Yankees have been able to find players to fill in the gaps vacated by their injured stars. Well, Minnesota has a potent offense and an underrated rotation. However, the Houston Astros have Justin Verlander and Jarrett Cole at the top of the rotation, which is as good as any team in the big leagues, but there's a huge gap from there. Wade Miley the Cleveland Indians have made a strong surge in the AL Central, and they have enough talent to win that division. However, it's how Oakland has won 60 games thus far with this rotation full of number 4 starters is impressive. It may work throughout. What was initially a strength has now become something they need to address before the deadline. With the injuries Boston chose not to bring Craig Kimbrell and Joe Kelly back, and instead they relied on their internal options. That completely
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.